Hi, I'm Nakia, and this is Rat and Cat, where we search for those who have gone missing so others can learn how to survive. Today, I am going to vary my methods, vary my sources, and practice my methods. Sorry, I just heard something crackling over there in the trees. Anyhow, so I'm going to go out and practice my fire skills. And it's a little solo trek out here. I do really ultra light packing and backpacking, and when I'm out on production, low impact stuff, because I don't have time as I'm filming to get out to do a lot of setup. I'll put a lot of extra things. So today I want to get out there, see if I can start a fire. It's wet. It's been raining, and I'm just in a break here. It's supposed to start raining again here anytime. So it's perfect conditions to really be challenging. And all I've got is a couple lighters and a knife. So we'll see how I do with that. It's always disconcerting to hear a little brush cracking, and especially when you're starting out and look over and see a pile of bones beside you. But that's nature. I'm headed out to a section of the Columbia Gorge on the rim, overlooking the Columbia Gorge. Grateful for Tim letting me pass through some private property he owns up here, and then headed out to some public lands. It's a beautiful area. Some of this was logged 30, 40 years ago, maybe 50. Actually, a big forest fire 100 years ago. It's still recovering from that. I haven't been up here for probably 5 years, and so I'm not familiar with some of the paths. This is a different way I'm going. It's a private trail that's been built on private land to start out with. It hooks up with some other natural trails up here, and we're game, and people have been hiking, and so I'm finding my way a little bit here, and I could have asked for directions a little bit further, but I kind of like to explore on my own sometimes. It's a lot of fun, and I don't always get to do that. Hoping to head off trail a little bit here today and get out there and get back before I get drenched by this storm. All right, I'm peeling off some layers here. I'm on a side trail. I'm hoping it goes directly up to this viewpoint that I want to go to. I'm not sure if I'm going to make it all the way down. There's these basalt columns out here. It's a big cliff right along the edge of the gorge, and they kind of are freestanding, some of them. I'd like to make it there, but I'm not sure I'll be able to. So I really want to get some time to try to build a fire, and I have limited time here. So let's see. All right, Bigfoot fans, here's a massive tree structure for you. I don't call this a tree structure. I'd call this winter fall. Trees that fell during the winter. This has been covered with snow and bent over, and had some trees fall on it, and it's just viney maple, and that's what it does. Or it could be a tree structure pointing to every possible water source there is north of here and every other direction. Well, I thought I was headed south. I was following a trail, and then I started to go off east, I thought, and so I headed back west. And I came out on this other trail that looks familiar, so I thought I'd check my compass. This is the way I usually come in, actually, or used to. And I was headed north. I'd completely switched directions because I wasn't following my compass and was following some other drainages and paths. So anyhow, I know where I'm at now, And kind of fun to get off the trail though and just trek it through the bush there. Yeah, so back on course. All right, I've just crossed into public land here. Trees are a lot older, and it's definitely a lot cooler. I'm getting into the gorge area where there's most always wind going through there. A lot of heavy fog right now. The water, a lot of more moisture coming down. So I'm gonna close up some layers here and keep going. It's beautiful though. Love it here. Holy crap, that's some big shit. I have never seen cougar sign this big before. It's got hair in it. I think that's what it is, but look at that. Rivals bigger than a lot of human poop, and a lot of it. That's a big animal right there. There's some scattered over here too from it. There's something else that's gone here. This is like a common area, it looks like, but wow. All right, here's a bit of a sheltered spot behind me that I'm gonna build a fire at. I would probably choose a more sheltered spot if I was going to shelter a storm, but I just want to build a fire right now. Soaking wet. So I'm going to vary my sources and practice my methods, but I really don't have a lot of sources because I just have the lighters, which can be faulty sometimes, and a small pocket knife. So it's a bit of a challenge for me. But I'm anxious to see what I can do here. Wet. All right, I'm not down to mineral soil. I'd have to dig quite a bit deeper if it was summer and wet. I mean summer and dry, but since it's so wet, I'm just gonna go ahead and go right here and see what I can get. I'm really curious to see, small twigs like this can dry out really fast. I'm curious to see if I can get some of those going. All right, so what I'm looking for here is some pitchwood. This looks really wet. There's some of it here that's possibly pitchy. Yeah, that's pitchy. An old stump. Beautiful. Like John was explaining in my how to build a fire, the best survival fire ever. You look at these old stumps, or you can look at the bark of a scarred tree, but that's a little harder to find sometimes if you're out away from where man have been digging them or breaking up the bark, but or animals too. But the old trees will die, and the sap goes down into the roots. So that's what we've got here, I think. Check out this pattern. That's just cool. Curious to see if this will actually even start just wet like this.
Aha. Wow, I am so surprised at how easy it was to find pitchwood out here. Now, it'd be better if I had a lot more kindling and stuff, and more shavings already done. But that just started right up, and it is soaking. I keep on putting it out. I cannot believe how easy this is just starting up here. Of course, it's not windy. It's not pouring, even though it's really wet, it's not pouring down rain. But I've got a little fire going here. So I can pick it up without it going out. It goes out really easy but it's going. I'm gonna try to build it up here. It smells good. One thing I love about being out here is all the smells, the natural wood smells. You know, when you're in the house or town or whatever for a long time, you basically lose your sense of smell. And I find when I go out for like a weekend trip and I'm solo or camping with other people, especially solo, I'm a lot more aware of all the scents out there, the smells in the air. So it's it's really neat to be able to start getting that, but it really takes me days to get that kind of scent back, or that sense of smell. And one thing else that increases your sense of smell is your diet. If I'm eating sugar, fats, carbohydrates, or just enough calories, you probably notice this too. Your sense of smell and taste is diminished significantly. Whereas if you're eating lean proteins and vegetables and stuff, which I should be more often, and your sense of smell increases a lot. Give it a try sometime. Should be paying attention to my fire more here. This part of the forest, it's almost always misty like this. I think there's maybe been twice that I've been up here that it's been sunny out. It's always got this mysterious feel. And what adds to it today is starting out there, I heard twice a couple of branches cracking. It's that snap where something's stepping on something. It's not a drip, it's like that. It's all like I'm pretty sure something was flanking me. Probably not a deer or an elk, because those would don't usually they're pretty loud and you can hear them thunking. They're pretty careless, actually, but probably not a bear. I don't know, maybe a bear would track, but it could be that, or most likely a cougar. Probably it's my imagination, but that's probably the most likely scenario. But I'm pretty certain, actually, I heard sticks, and I'm not used to hearing that when I'm out here. And I can hear drips around me now. There weren't drips at that time, or wind blowing, like branches in the trees. You can hear those scratching or kind of clicking together sometimes. This was different. But once I got out of that area, though, up out of that ravine, I haven't heard anything since. Of course, it's a lot harder to hear right now because the rain's dripping all around me. All right. In short, I could keep this fire going if I wanted to, but I am gonna let it go out just because I have time, and I think the experience for me here, and if you're thinking about, what I'm interested in is the average hiker, because the average hiker isn't taking a big knife with them or a saw, and they'll just have a really basic kit. And this is what you can expect to do if you have a basic kit. You'll want to have a lot more tinder than I have here, but you could just do this, and just the act of doing this and keeping it going like this and moving everything together, and I'm getting heat, but it just takes a lot of work to get it going and keep it going. And then after, I'd say it'd take me a good hour like this to have a really big fire going. And I'm not saying I'm doing it the right way here necessarily. I mean, the best way, I should say. It's not easy. It was easy to get it started with some of the pitch wood, but then to keep it going, I found actually this little tinder, the little pieces of fir here, are actually working a lot better once the others were ignited. All right, well, that was quite the experience. Good practice. Like I said, I don't think it's the best way, but it is a way, and I'm out of time. It's 1:05. I told my wife I'd be back by 1:05. Got at least an hour hike out. So I've got to run. I don't have any more time right now. I'm gonna have to send my wife a message on the old rescue beacon and let her know I'm okay. But what about you? Have you been practicing your survival skills? If you're an outdoorsman or even just a casual hiker or backpacker, are you taking the extra steps to rehearse your survival skills? I know I haven't been as much as I would like to, and this is really great to get this hands-on experience. I've been wanting to do this a long time, just practice more fire building and some of the basics. But leave your comments below. We'd love to all hear what you have experienced lately. Have you had any successful survival skills that you've been practicing, or mistakes you've made, things you've learned? Look forward to hearing from you. Support this channel on Patreon, and I look forward to seeing you next time here on Rat and Cat.